If I only had 15 minutes to play a board game, here's what I would play. Part 2, Meow Meow Dice. It's pretty much just Yahtzee with really cute cat dice. I find that to be an extremely compelling pitch. Also, the box is like a cat. Come on. This is not formally available in the United States. I imported it from South Korea. There are English rules though, which is nice. Meow Meow Dice. Okay, Corridor. I have such a funny connection with this game. When I first opened the shop, I had never heard of this game. I own a board game store. I had never heard of this game, okay? And people kept coming in and saying, hey, do you have Corridor? Hey, do you have Corridor? And I was like, what are you guys talking about? And I looked it up, and it came out in like 1997. And I was like, what is this random like woodblock pawn game that came out in 1990? Why are people asking me about this? And it turned out that it got really viral on TikTok, randomly, I don't know who, but a bunch of people saw it on TikTok and started coming in and asking for it. It had gained just all this popularity, so I said, okay, let me check it out. And oh my God, it's so good. You start your wooden pawn on one end of the board, and you're just trying to make it to the other end. Your opponent's trying to do the same. On your turn, you can move your pawn, or you can place a little wood wall somewhere on the map and hopefully block your opponent and make them slower than you will be. But your opponent can do the same thing. You have a limited amount of walls, though, so you have to be really tactical with how you do it. It's so fun, and that's it. And it's super quick. And also, shout out, very recently, they made a Pac-Man edition of this, in which you can play the normal Corridor rules, but also there's a Pac-Man variant where there's ghosts and you wall the ghosts off and you're trying to like be Pac-Man. Oh my God, it's so good. Tether. This is another game that you can play at 2 or 4 players. When you play 4 players, you're playing in teams of 2, which is fun. Ultimately, I think it's better as a 2-player game, but having the team variant is still really great. This kind of feels like a classic card game because ultimately it is just a deck of cards. Each card has 2 numbers, but they're mirrored. So for example, I would see a 97, but from your perspective, it is 79. It's mirrored, yeah? And so one player or one team is tethering astronauts horizontally, and the other team is doing it vertically. And you're trying to make connections of sequential numbers. It's this insane asymmetric puzzle where you need to understand if you're setting your opponent up, right? So like you're playing on the same field, and it's a fairly simple rule set. Pretty much I just explained the game. God, the amount of like, if this number goes this way and flipped, then he can go horizontal and vertical and she can do this. It's really very surprisingly crunchy, and it's just a little, it's a little box of cards. But with that really clever rule set, Tether sings. The box actually says 15 minutes, and I think that's true, especially when you play 2 players. It's a really quick play. 4 players can take a little longer, but like not by much. It's a very reliable 15-minute experience. Courtesans. This has been picking up a lot of buzz in the board game world. This came out last year. It is another kind of fairly seemingly straightforward card game where on your turn you're going to draw 3 cards. One card you'll play in front of yourself. Another card you'll play in front of one of your opponents, and then the third card you'll play at the queen's table, which is like sort of this neutral thing in the middle. You're trying to push and pull the influence of certain families, and that's going to be dictated by the queen's table. And all the cards you're playing for yourself and your opponents will have either positive or negative points depending on the outcome of the families at the table, basically. That's pretty much it. But because of the interplay with all of the pushing and the pulling, and the fact that I'm playing for my opponents, means that you can never really guarantee something. So it's very tactical, which I really like, and it's quick, man. It's so quick. The box says 20 minutes, and that's going to really depend on player count. It goes 2 to 5 players. Lower count's probably closer to like 10 even, especially when you know the rules. 5 players with like new people who don't know the rules, probably closer to 20, 30 minutes, but like still, ultimately a very quick experience. So like, you should know about it. Courtesans.